The search for the long-lost city of Atlantis has been the quest of many adventurers. The city is said to have been consumed by the ocean and sunk beneath the waves millennia ago. The Atlantean technology was unrivaled in the ancient world, with their civilization attaining heights never before seen. But, did Atlantis truly exist? Recent research by the channel, Bright Insight, which I highly recommend, has sparked a new interest and a new direction for the hunt for Atlantis. It is theorized that Atlantis has been hidden in plain sight all along. The prime location is in fact in the deserts of North Africa. The Richat structure is nestled in the Sahara Desert, in the country of Mauritania. The shape of the structure is what gives it its other name, the Eye of the Sahara. Much of what we know about Atlantis comes from the ancient Greek philosopher, Plato, who claimed to have learned the story from his relative, Solon, who traveled to Egypt and learned of Atlantis from the ancient Egyptians. In his writings, Plato describes Atlantis as a mighty empire, whose technologies were far more advanced than other civilizations at the time, and whose army was unrivaled. The story of Atlantis comes to an abrupt end at the hands of the Athenians. The expansionist policy of the Atlantean Empire put them on a collision course with the Athenians, who had the gods on their side. The gods were enraged by Atlantean greed and arrogance, and so aided the Athenians, by sending crashing tsunamis and earthquakes to crush the Atlantean Empire, and sink their city beneath the waves. Atlantis was defeated. The tale of Atlantis echoes the biblical tale of Sodom and Gomorrah, with both cities similarly being destroyed by the gods as a result of their arrogance and sins. But if Atlantis was supposedly sunk, then why is it speculated to be in the Sahara Desert? In Plato's writings, the philosopher also wrote of the city of Atlantis itself, giving dimensions and architectural insight into the once mighty empire. The capital of Atlantis, according to Plato, was formed of concentric rings, 2 of land, and 3 of water. Startlingly similar to the layout of the Richat structure. But it does not end there. Plato also describes the city as having the diameter of 127 stadia. Stadia being a typical measurement at the time of ancient Greece. The modern equivalent of a stadium, the singular for stadia, is 607 feet. 607 multiplied by 127, results in 77,089 feet. Or, 14.6 miles. The diameter of the eye. But, the Richat structure is clearly in the desert, devoid of water. Yes, this is true. There is no water in the Sahara Desert around the Great Eye. However, when looking at satellite imagery of the site, there are clear signs of what looks like a flood of water once swept the area. In addition, you may be doubting the theory based on the thought that Atlantis was an island, and therefore cannot be on land. This can be disputed by a map made by the Greek historian, Herodotus. On the map, Italy is clearly defined, as is the Mediterranean, and from that, it can be discerned that the landmass below the Mediterranean is North Africa. In roughly the location of the Richat structure, there is a place name. Atlantis, spelled with an E in place of an I. Not only does this map claim that Atlantis is in North Africa, but it also claims that it sits directly in the area of the Richat structure. Many still consider Atlantis to be a parable, spun from the mind of Plato, as an example of how an empire must not succumb to its hubris. Therefore, according to those people, Atlantis never existed. And yet, many thought the ancient city of Troy was a myth. Until it was found. Exactly where the author Homer said it would be. Could the Richat structure be the location of Atlantis? The evidence is highly compelling. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Mystery Anomaly. Stay tuned to the next mystery explored by Mystery Anomaly by turning on the notification bell. Cheers.